Hey, I'm Praxis. You probably already know me. If you don't, be nice or be quiet. So I said this week might be a little late. I hope it isn't. I went through a lot of effort trying to record while I'm not home. This is me not being home. Not even wearing the collar. But I do have a latte here, which I'm eager to drink. Yeah, a lot of things are different this week. As you can see, different camera, different setup, of course. I'm not in the same space. I'm missing something, but I did want to get this out before the weekends, essentially, right? Because if I'm gonna get home sometime tomorrow from the day of recording this. Probably not tomorrow from the day of you seeing this. Like, it's probably gonna be uploaded tomorrow, is the thing. And then, I will have to build everything back up. Reinstall the microphone that I've uninstalled to take with me. And I will have to, be quick about it. And I don't want to rush these. I want to let the session breathe, essentially. Because this is, for me. And there's nothing to be gained from rushing myself through recording these. But I will, however, today try to get through this as fast as I can, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time editing away from home, right? It's not a comfortable work environment, but I still want to do some work. I learned last week that apparently I can use Patricia Texan's music for these vlogs, which I, hadn't even considered. Essentially what happened was that I was, browsing, I don't know, was it SoundCloud? One of her public profiles, and, Patricia says that we can use this music with accreditation, and I'm very hyped about that. I mean, for real, Patricia might be one of the reasons I'm comfortable, more or less, wearing a collar in my usual vlogs. Weird saying that in the one where I don't wear a collar, but what can you do, I wasn't gonna bring it with me. Right, maybe I should tell you where I'm at. I'm currently at my parents' home, essentially taking care of the animals while they're gone. As for the animals themselves, there's one bird, 2 cats, 1 dog, and currently another dog who, doesn't belong to the horde, but since it's the dog of a work friend they're traveling with. So, if I'm here taking care of them anyway, what's one more dog, right? On that note, I also won't be showing them off, at least not this time. I don't feel the enthusiasm I feel showing off animals on the internet requires. On the same note, I grew up with a lot of dogs, and at some point I've stopped being a dog person. The dogs my parents raise and live with are usually not that well behaved, which doesn't come as a surprise to me personally. It's not that I don't like dogs, right? I think there's some very well behaved, nice dogs out there, and they don't come here usually. Not to be mean to the dogs listening here, but they seem to be pretty chill about it right now. But yeah, I think what it takes for me to really appreciate a dog is that the dog kind of needs to be used to people, right? I'm thinking about the nicest dogs I've met were the ones people took into the office with them. Office dogs. I think they always behave pretty nicely, and I always like being around them. And cats. I love cats. They're pretty good. So, what are you having today? That's nice. Another thing I'm doing right now is I've brought this book with me. I've had this book for a while, and its size intimidated me. I've had it for years, and I've never really, read it. At this point, I'm, what's that? Maybe a third through? I thought I were fourth, maybe a third. Let's not do math right now. I'm not in a math brain. But yeah, it's good. There were some data takes on gender, but they weren't being oh, this is the facts. A lot of rhetorics, and none of it mean-spirited. It's been very, it's been good. I feel like I'm getting closer to actually making games than I had been in the past, so that's good. Oh gosh, just had a look at Audacity, and it does look like the setup I've chosen might be a little bit harder to correct for. It's gonna be alright. We're gonna get through this, and hopefully with some really nice music as well. Wouldn't that be nice? And then next week, I can wear my collar again. I can be home. I'm looking forward to that. I can drink good coffee instead of fancy one that doesn't taste well. But hey, at least, at least we've been here, right? There's one more in there, and then we're done. So let me think if there's anything else I wanted to say. Right, I guess I could talk a little bit about my experience with the 11th series of Doctor Who, which I've started watching recently. It's the first with Jodie, and the biggest difference that I, immediately picked onto was a very different style of directing. What you have is a lot of close-up shots of faces, and I kind of assume maybe the idea with that was like, okay, people are gonna watch it on smaller and smaller displays, they gotta see the emotions. I could see that being the reason for this. I'm not too huge of a fan of that style, right? I don't like looking at faces too much. And Doctor Who always had like these active shots, right? And currently a lot of them is, looking at these faces, switch like in a dialogue, switching between different faces to capture the emotions. And that's probably very good to act for, but I don't particularly enjoy watching that composition. I still enjoy the characters, right? Like it's not, I'm not at the point yet where I'm like, oh, this is bad. It's still good, at least right now. And it's still Doctor Who, absolutely, but it feels a little bit in your face. I'm empty. This was a quick one. I hope the audio is salvageable. It probably is, else you wouldn't be hearing this. But we will see each other next week. Until then, stay cute, stay loved, and I don't know, be good. Bye.